up, guys? Some of you may have read the Huffington Post article by Jeff O'Neill asking whether J.K. Rowling should be considered for a Nobel Prize for Literature. Now, obviously, we're all Harry Potter fans and we all want J.K. Rowling to have the Nobel Prize for Literature. I mean, that would be freaking awesome. But let's try to think about it a little more critically. What exactly do Nobel Prizes get awarded for? It's pretty ambiguous. Without going into too much detail about the nominations and the 18-person academy, what the prize is awarded for, according to an excerpt from Alfred Nobel's will, is the person who shall have produced in the field of literature the most outstanding work in an ideal direction. Which doesn't really clear things up. What is an ideal direction, and was the Harry Potter series the most outstanding work in that ideal direction? If the ideal direction was inspiring a generation of kids to read and to think about tough topics that question their quality of character, I'd say without a doubt Harry Potter was the most outstanding work in that ideal direction. But I think ideal direction, according to the Nobel Committee, probably has more to do with the craft of the work than the effect it had on the public. I had to memorize all of the Nobel laureates for literature when I was on the literary criticism team in high school, and I've read the works of several of the laureates, as I'm sure you have, but to my admittedly still limited knowledge, none of them were strictly young adult authors. Now, should that rule J.K. Rowling out on those grounds? After all, I read The Fault in Our Stars yesterday, and I definitely want to give John Green a Nobel Prize after reading that. But by its track record, I'm not sure that the Swedish Academy is ready to recognize how vibrant and rich and complex young adult literature can be. Like a lot of you watching, I tend to get frustrated by young adult or children's literature being discounted as lower quality writing when I know it to be just as technically impressive as great adult literature, like the works of some of the previous Nobel laureates. This is In the Heart of the Country by J.M. Coetzee, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2003. Now, this book is written in a very unique style. It has shocking and psychological content, and it has important political, metaphorical messages about the colonization of Africa. Those are the kinds of things that you see in the work of Nobel laureates. But J.K. Rowling's work arguably has all of that as well. The style is unique in that it is incredibly long for the target age group. It has dark, emotionally challenging content in that its protagonist was abused for the first 11 years of his life and then spent the next 7 single-handedly battling a mass murderer. It also has important metaphorical messages about a political situation, namely World War II and the Holocaust, and we all know that it also has more general metaphors about equality and about what is right versus what is easy, and heck, I don't need to tell you guys all this because you are watching a YouTube channel for a charity organization that is based on all of the ideas in the books, and that is the secret weapon here. The points I gave before are a bit weak. It can be argued that J.K. Rowling's works are as technically ideal and progressive as the works of other Nobel laureates, but the arguments aren't quite sound. What is a sound, strong argument, however, is that no matter how politically charged a lot of the works of Nobel laureates have been, J.K. Rowling's books have been just as powerfully eye-opening and have done just as much to change a generation's way of seeing the world. Jeff O'Neill, the author of the Huffington Post article, hit it on the head when he said, "Put the artistic imperative aside for the moment and consider this. She is the formative writer for millions and millions of children. She doesn't write great sentences, and it would be hard to argue that the subject matter is hugely important, but the questions, characters, stories, and values in her work have resonated with the world." And what more can books do than that? So what do you guys think? Should J.K. Rowling be considered for a Nobel Prize in Literature? I didn't say a quarter of what I could have on this topic, so let's get a really good debate going in the comments. Also, we are having an MLK Day live stream on MLK Day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a link in the description box. I will see you there.